GLC presents, brought to you by the donations of our faithful partners.
Hello, how's your life going? Do you feel like you're just waiting and wondering, God, why won't you answer my prayer? What's taking so long? What I need to do? Why won't things happen? Or maybe you're a teenager watching this show and you're thinking, I just can't wait till I get grown. I'm going to do everything I ever wanted to do the way I want to do it. Or maybe you're a little kid watching the show and you're thinking, when I get big, I'm going to do this. You know, we're all interested in timing, whether we realize it or not, because we all have things that we want to happen that haven't happened yet. And God has timing. He has perfect timing in your life, in my life, in the things He wants to do in the world, even when Jesus comes back. So I'm going to teach a series on the timing of God, and we're going to look at it from all kinds of angles, and we're going to study people in the Bible that timing was critical to what they did with their lives. Maybe yours is like that. Maybe what you're waiting on is something that's not even destined to happen yet. For instance, I believe that passage that tells about the man that owned a vineyard, had work to be done, that he went out and hired people at 9 in the morning, and then he hired people at 12, and then at 3, and some at 5. He said, I'm going to pay them all the same. And the 9 o'clock people really got upset. They said, listen, we've worked all day in this hot sun, and you're paying those people that came at 5 o'clock the same. It's not fair. And the man said, well, didn't I agree to pay you a certain fee? Yes. Well, can I pay people what I want to pay them just because I want to be nice to them? And so there's some of you that have waited a long time to do what you think God really called you to do. And maybe you even feel like you're still waiting. Maybe you think, I must have missed it. I must have missed it, but I don't feel like it's ever happened and I've ever really done what I'm supposed to be doing. What is God's timing in my life? So let's look at it and let's see what all does God show us in His Word about timing. Look at this clock. Don't you feel like time is just tick-tocking away? I talk to people that are older, and I'll say, how old do you think you are? How old do you feel? Like my stepmother's 95. And I'll say, Inez, how old do you feel? She'll say, 50. I feel 50. And yet she's not. But, you know, she's aged in a great way. My mother-in-law has aged in a great way, and now she's 90. And time is just ticking away. Both of these women have lived for God, both of them. They've done different things, but what they did was what God wanted them to do with their life. It's been a beautiful thing. And there was a timing in all of it. So let's look at our first scripture. Here it is, Ecclesiastes 3:1. For everything there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven. If you've gone to my website, bettyswann.com, you have seen that on there I have a CD of Bill Weiss talking about when God took him to hell. He actually is a Christian, was a Christian then, and one night he came home from church, and in the middle of the night he just started dropping down into a tunnel. And he had an out-of-body experience where he saw hell, and then God took him up above the earth, and he saw the earth, and he saw how God does things. And I said to him, Bill, out of everything that happened, what impressed you the most? He said, well, one, there are billions of people in hell, and not one of them can say God didn't give me a chance. So you see, they each one had a time for salvation, and I'm sure they had many times, and yet they always said no. The time came and they said no. And he said the other thing that really impressed me was when God took me up above the earth and let me see how He does